Welcome to Trials Progression. I'm Tommy T. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a high intensity workout, just trying to really cram in a whole lot of activity, get that heart rate pumping in order to get better in shape. Now, I've got a nationals coming up in about 30 days and I'm looking forward to that, but I know I need to get in better shape. And most of my viewing audience is about 40 to 60-year-old men, so I'm assuming that this applies to you as well. So we're going to be running through a variety of different techniques and skills and things that you can just do in your driveway. So we're going to try to cram in as much activity as possible. And if you guys want a list of these, you can actually find that on trialsprogression.com, the website. Today I printed off this list and I'm rocking the new Myro pants. These have got a full-size pocket, so I'll just be able to pull these out, which is pretty nice. I've also got a timer on my handlebars here, so I've got that set for about 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes I'm going to be trying to change up what activity. You could also just do 10 reps or 15 reps, whatever works out for you. And lastly, a lot of people have smartwatches. I am going to encourage, if you have a smartwatch or some way to measure your heart rate, that's kind of what I'm going for in this, is just to elevate that heart rate. So I'm going to be keeping track of that here and letting you guys know how my heart rate is accelerating, especially with different ones of these that might be more or less challenging. Now, if you can't do this whole list, don't worry. You can find which of these type of techniques you can do and then do more of those, or apply just 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and oscillate back and forth. But the goal is definitely to get that heart rate elevated and get in shape. Here we go. So to start out with, we're just doing trial wheelies. This is mostly just going to be on the throttle, working on good control. Two minutes is actually pretty long. I've already got a heart rate up to about 150, so we're moving here. Next one's going to incorporate the clutch, still doing wheelies, trying to get up to that balance point and use the rear brake to bring it back down. Now, to develop good habits and automation, I'm actually not going to cover the rear brake to start out with. That way my knees can dip forward. And then as soon as the front wheel comes up in the air, I'm going to go ahead and cover that rear brake. All right, 4 minutes in, we're already cranking. I got 165 beats per minute. This one's going to be an MX start or a motocross start. Just going to try and static balance, really rev up that engine, let the clutch go, and lean forward, dipping down in order to control that wheelie. So especially before a hill climb or something of that sort, this one makes a lot of sense. All right, those last ones were pretty fun. I think I actually want to keep doing those, but time to move on. Heart rate's pumping. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a break in some figure eights. Although, while my heart is slowing down, this is definitely a workout on those quads, those glutes. This is going to be a good one. It's like moto yoga. Woo! Feeling it for sure. All right, just consulting the list. Here we go. Heart rate's down to 155, so that should help. Next one's gonna be nose wheelies. I've got a lot of other videos on how to do this, but right now we're just gonna focus on getting a little bit of speed, jumping off the pegs, pushing our head forward, pushing on those handlebars forward. This is almost like doing a bench press. Don't have to go that high. Just keeping it controlled. 2 minutes of these is going to get tiring. You can land with that rear brake on in order to get good stability, good stable landing. All right, heart rate's back up to about 165. It's time for some floaters. Starting out with, we can just roll into this little front wheel lift, peg pressure. Doesn't have to be big floaters, especially if you're still learning this skill. That's another one I kind of like and want to keep going on, but we're going to go ahead and rest the heart a little bit with some static balance. So engine on, just going to try some static balance here. Do about 1 minute with the wheel to each side, or whichever side you need more work on. This actually isn't resting my heart quite as much as I had hoped, but still, it's a little bit of a break from doing all those wheelies. Try and take some deep breaths and really catch your breath. It's a great thing to do in a section. Static balance. Take a deep breath, regroup mentally for whatever obstacle you're about to hit next. All right, this next one's more of a fun one, wheelie to nose wheelie. Not sure it's something I would ever use in a section, but it is teaching me to set the front down nice and light, be ready to do something. Definitely feeling it in those arms, pushing and pulling. This is better than being in the gym. At least for me anyway, more fun. All right, we're gonna start moving into some of the hopping here. So front wheel hops, if you cannot do a front wheel hop, it's okay. I've got a little bit of a cheat for you, something that we can do in order to get more acquainted with that movement. Most people struggle with front hops because they can't balance. So if you just roll a little bit, still try and front hop, just clutch in, that's actually gonna help a lot with the balance. So even if you're not getting the front tire up very high, or even at all, you're still getting that movement in. And this is all about raising that heart rate. And if you have a line that you can hop over, even if rolling, this is going to teach you a lot about the balance corrections. How to move side to side a little bit. It's kind of like the handlebars performing a wave. But if you are able to front hop without rolling, 2 minutes of front hop, especially over the line, it's definitely going to get your practice going both ways and get you worn out. Woo, these front hops are definitely working my cardio. I'm up to a 170 heart rate. All right, next one's going to be hopping on and off a brick. So a little more static balance, a little more control with the front hop. Trying to get onto that brick and off it the other way. And back to static. A lot of precision on this one. Ideally a little bit slower onto that brick too. Get a little bit closer. There we go. Nice. All right, this next one's gonna be just figure eights, but adding in a little rear wheel hop to help cut down that turning diameter. If you want to, you can throw in a front hop after the rear in order to really cut down that turning diameter. And it also helps to be ready with the front wheel hop after a rear in order to help with your balance. Sometimes it's hard to stay balanced in that rear hop situation, so being ready to do a front hop to help correct it definitely helps. This one's getting my heart rate going for sure. These slower rear hops require a lot more push. Let's check the heart rate. I'm up to 170 again. All right, next one's gonna be a static rear tire hop, so using a little bit of RPM and clutch in order to help hop that rear to the side. Really, I'd like to return to static balance right after that rear hop so I'm not losing any ground. Usually this is used right before an obstacle, so something more like that, rather than roll out of it. All right, so now I'm gonna get closer to this line. So same thing with a rear hop, but I'm also gonna use the front hop in order to get closer to that line. So if I'm off target a little bit, I can move into position for whatever obstacle is next. So let's say I set up a foot offline, get the rear there, and the front there, hopefully return to static balance without losing any ground. There we go, that one felt good. Heart rate is cooking, 178. I think 180, 185 is probably my absolute max. I don't know if I can get to 190, but this next one might show us. I'm gonna try full bike hops to get to the line. So instead of rocking back and forth, I'm gonna try full bike hop. Big key of this is just to wave those handlebars. Even if you didn't think you could do a full bike hop, you might surprise yourself as you're falling off balance just a little bit. Nice, good compression. It's not necessarily a jump up high. It's just like a short stroke jump. Getting those legs to come up and the bike to come up, waving the handlebars, you'll move over. Now I'm taking a short little break to turn around rather than trying full bike hop for straight 2 minutes, which would probably be exhausting. Just get to the line and get out. Well, if I didn't tell you earlier, you might want to consult with a physician, especially you older gents, before going out and potentially hurting yourself. Heart rate still above 175, so this is definitely a workout. All All right, next we're gonna try a rolling nose wheelie. Now, when I'm first learning this one, I like to go towards the grass. That way, if I go over, hopefully it's into the grass. I certainly don't have the smoothness. I'm still pulsating the brakes quite a bit, but it is a workout. And even if you can't do it rolling, I would recommend going up a little too high and then letting go of that front brake. So go up too high and then let go of the front brake. It's a great way to develop that automation, that habit. What happens when it comes too high or you give it too much, just let go of that front brake. It rolls right back down. All right, just got 2 more for you advanced fellers. This one's definitely gonna cause your heart rate to accelerate. I'm gonna see how far I can go sideways hopping. Not something I would use in a section, but definitely learning to get the suspension and timing and just getting that heart rate up. Here it goes. So you could do this with all brakes applied or a little bit of a clutch pop, which will assist. Oh, geez, 180. That takes it up pretty quick. Now, by all means, take a break in between some of these workouts if you need it. I'm trying to just switch from one to the next. You can tell it's making me breathe pretty hard. Last one on the bike is going to be dead engine, trying to move 10 feet. So there's a variety of ways you can do this. Potentially, one way is to do a little wheelie with the rear brake on, and as you slam down the front, let go of all the brakes and try and roll, and then regain static. I don't actually do this very often, so we'll see how it goes. Wheelie. Oh, it helps if you're in neutral. Wheelie. Oh. The other one would be potentially rolling backwards, so kind of like a getting ready for a wheelie or a front hop. Compress the suspension, lift up on the brakes. Definitely hard to regain balance and ride fakie. But even if you can't do these, attempting them is going to continue to raise that heart rate and get you some repetitions on the bike. Whew. Another way to move dead engine is going to be rear brake and front brake applied, front hop, rear hop. That might be my best one. I don't know about the others. They seem pretty dicey. And then lastly, we could do that side to side hop. Full bike hops to the side. Dead engine. That wave pattern really helps move it across. Oh. Thanks for watching. If you guys like this type of stuff and you want more, trialsprogression.com is a website. I got a lot more drills, and you can also download this list. It has the different skills and activities that you can do to raise your heart rate and get in shape for more trials action. I'll see you in the next one.